log of everything going on.
I'll have to check it out after we're done. But we're back again for the third time.
Third time.
So anyway, here, and this is an important question, I think this is it's not a development, it's just facts. I'm just throwing out facts here. This is not opinion. My opinion was, is anything going to be done? That was the only thing that was thrown out that was my opinion. But to my knowledge, Brazil has never stated that they would sanction Iran. As a matter of fact, Brazil has a very steady economic trade relationship with Iran. I wonder if Uncle Ted would be upset to learn that they also have a robust trade relationship with Russia, too. Brazil and Russia are, quote...
That's common sense.
They're, quote, strategic partners and technological allies, enjoying near a $10 billion a year trade relationship.
Yeah, I was about to say, what's that like NATO version of the Russia? Like, it's just like there's countries like we have NATO, and then there's the Russia version of NATO. What's the fucking name of it? God, I can't even remember. There's a bunch of countries involved with it. I think Iran, Brazil, Venezuela.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of these countries that are involved with their version of what NATO is supposed to be. But Brazil, Jesus, just
it is concerning. It is concerning because it's really close to the homeland here, United States of America.
Yeah.
The concern was that they could, dump troops there or set something up, and I'm like,
That'd be actually the worst strategic place to put troops
right.
is Brazil, because you got the rainforest, then you've got the strait, the canal where the Panama Canal. Yeah, it's like, what do you get?
And China controls the Panama Canal now, so.
Oh well, that was our mistake back in the 90s. Should have never gave that up, but all right.
That's pretty strategic.
If there's two places in the world that the U.S. should have boots on the ground at 24/7, is just Suez and Panama Canal. That's it.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
So how's Russia doing? I mean, not like I'm checking on their status. It's just like, how do they get around without getting fucked up? Are they like confined to the Black Sea?
I mean, international law states you're allowed to navigate throughout the waters without being harassed, technically, right? No?
Yeah, I pulled up that ship. Like FlightAware does all the airplanes and stuff. There's a ship version of that, and there's just like there's fucking boats everywhere. There's as many boats in the water as there are planes in the sky. Probably
more boats in the water than planes.
Yeah, it's pretty littered. It's really littered out there.
It's crazy.
Because China is actually, everyone's supplier of things and stuff. So.
Supplies of really crappy stuff. But
yeah. most of it's crappy. Most of it's crappy. So, which brings me to the next story, is American companies that are no longer American owned. And this stemmed off of some previous story. Maybe it was a thought process. Like, I wonder how many. I think I asked myself the question: how many companies are like they were founded in America, but now they're no longer owned by the United States? And dude, there was an article out there. It was like a list of 100 companies that is like, this was founded in America, it was made in America, but now AMC. It's owned by somebody else. By what?
Hey, look, I can start naming them. You got Disney, AMC. AMC was a big one. I remember
AMC, yeah.
The movie theater company. I was like 10, 15 years ago, people were like, hey, China's buying up all the movie theaters in the United States. You might want to be concerned about this, and no one listened. Then now Disney, Fox. I mean, all of our media is pretty much Chinese owned. That's the scary part about it.
So I've got a graphic up there right now, and this, I made this. If you can't read it, I'm sorry. I just, from every story I got, I just kind of like pulled a picture, and all of these companies are no longer, I mean, they're not American companies anymore.
American. They
So,
took our jobs.
just to begin, Ben and Jerry's, originally born out of South Burlington, Vermont. Now they're owned by Unilever out of England. Burger King, originally launched out of Miami, Florida. Now they're owned by RBI, or Restaurant Brands International, out of Canada. Sunglass Hut, born out of Miami, Florida. Now they're owned by a company out of Italy. Trader Joe's, Monrovia, California. Now they're owned by Theo Albrecht out of Germany. Yeah.
The same company that owns Aldi, I think, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
7-Eleven. Originally, they were a Dallas, Texas company. Now they're owned by 7 & I Holdings out of Japan.
That's a big thing in Japan. 7-Eleven is huge in Japan.
Hellman's Mayonnaise. Born in New York City, and now they're owned by Unilever in England. Dirt Devil. Born in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now they're owned by China. As a matter of fact, everything else on this list that I'm going to give is owned by China, or companies that are headquartered in China. The Iron Man competition. Original headquarters was in Tampa Bay, Florida. Now they're purchased by the Delian Wanda Group, and their location is in China. Forbes. Original headquarters, Jersey City, New Jersey. Now they're owned by the Integrated Whale Media Company out of China. General Motors, Detroit, Michigan. Now they're owned by Shanghai Automotive Industry Corporation out of China. General Electric, original headquarters, Boston, Massachusetts, and they were purchased by Haier, H-A-I-E-R. You might have seen their refrigerators in like Lowe's and shit. The appliance division is owned by China, by the Haier Corporation.
Did General Electric design the gun on the A-10?
Possibly, but they're all divisioned out. So it's just the appliance division is owned by China.
Oh, okay. So General Electric's gun division is owned by
the gun or the whatever the defense. I mean, they make aircraft engines.
Yes, they do. General Electric is huge.
They are huge. Check this one out. This one was surprising. The Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York City, once the most expensive hotel to stay at in New York City, is now owned by the Anbang Insurance Group out of China. Motorola, born in Schaumburg, Illinois. If you ever seen the Motorola compound in Schaumburg, it's massive. It's huge. It's impressive. It was purchased by Lenovo out of China. Tesla. Yeah, that Tesla. Elon Musk Tesla. Born in Palo Alto, California. Now they're owned by Tencent Holdings out of China. Uber. Born in San Francisco. Now owned by the Baidu Incorporated in China. The University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center, with the original headquarters was in Houston, Texas. Now it's owned by Concord Medical Services out of China. California Grapes International. Original headquarters, San Jose, California. Now they're owned by China Food Services Corporation, of course, out of China. The list goes on. Hush Puppy Shoes, Gillette, Barbie, Huffy, Converse, Dell Computers, Nike, Estee Lauder, Levi's, American Girl Dolls, G.I. Joe, Chevrolet. Chevrolet is still assembling cars in Detroit, but more than half of their parts are made in China. Everything is going to China. It's nuts, dude. It's really nuts.
Farmland.
The farmland that we talked about, what, 2 weeks ago? Was that 2 shows ago?
So fucking yeah. This is. I don't know how to say this without sounding super. I don't know. It's ridiculous because most countries in the world, if you're from a foreign entity, you are not allowed to own land at all. The farmland is what drives me nuts. That foreign entities are buying land up in our country. No. It should never happen. But, you know, I'd hate to say it. I'll blame the freaking, you know, our government is to blame for this. They were just
if they allow these sales to go.
Yes, they were selling us out for cheaper product.
I mean, Motorola, Tesla, Uber,
everyone. Walmart used to be the store of the American. Everything was made in the U.S. and Walmart when it first came out. Now
Bentonville, Arkansas, man. That's you know, that's the. What was the Tommy Boy? I make car parts for the American working man because that's what I am and that's what I care about. That shit is gone now. And I'd really like to see that come back. And I would not mind paying a little bit extra for something that is an American-owned company, run by Americans, with American employees, and with all proceeds going to America. That's just, I guess that's just not there anymore.
Not going to happen as long as we have the politicians that are in charge of everything right now.
Taxation.
It's sad to say.
Taxation is stuff.
If you want jobs and things to come back to the United States, and
that's why, like, and that's I guess that's primarily why, because corporations are. I mean, and I don't blame them at all. Businesses are in business to make money, and when you start taking that out of their pocket, they're going to go somewhere else.
I think the ultimate, like, people lose their mind when I say this, and I think I was talking to my mother the other day about this. I was like, the only corporate tax should be 0%. People will lose their mind when I say that. Like, oh, you don't want to tax corporations? Like, 99% of the corporations aren't paying taxes anyways. They're spending billions of dollars to get lawyers to play the loopholes in the systems. That's billions of dollars being given to the legal system. It's just like, eliminate it all. Say, hey, you don't have to pay taxes. Just bring jobs to our country. Simple.
Or you get like some kind of a utilities benefit, or you get some kind of cut on your electricity consumption. Or there's always
there's ways to do it. But I mean,
I think that's why Boeing moved from Seattle to Chicago. They were given some sweetheart deal.
Well, you see it a lot, like with a lot of these companies. Like even in my local town, there's a shed building. They build sheds like for your backyard kind of crap. They're pretty big. They said, hey, if you stay here, we'll give you a 10-year property tax.
That's a sweet deal.
And they stayed, and it kept jobs in this area. But if you want to keep jobs from going overseas, you need more competitive tax rates. And just raising the taxes on corporations is the wrong way to go about it. You'll get your tax money from income tax from all the workers. If they hire 100,000 people working, you'll make your money back at that point.
I'm a very firm believer that the United States does not have a taxation problem. They have a spending problem as far as politicians go. They're just slinging our money everywhere.
It's not, well, when it's not your money, you can spend it freely as you want to. I wish I could have their credit card for a day. I might actually fix the roads in my neighborhood. Shit.
There's people out there that are actually fixing potholes, and they do them in like dick shapes.
I saw this autistic kid. I think it was in Boston, Chicago, somewhere up in the Midwest. He started fixing potholes, and the city fined him for doing it. And they had the audacity to find this kid. He was like, "I just want to fix a hole in the road. Let the kid fix it. He's doing it for free. What's your problem?" Right. Oh no, he didn't do it the right way.
Yeah, he's not a trained professional.
He just didn't go through the whole bureaucracy to get, it costs $25 for him to fix it, but it'll cost you $6,000 to fix it after all the bureaucracy.
And it'll take weeks when it took him a day.
Yes, weeks, months, years.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to giving large corporations, if they're going to employ thousands of people, I don't have a problem with giving them some tax breaks. bring your big ass building here and let's make some stuff. Let's do some things.
I could never figure out. Like everyone's just like, how can you tax a corporation is not a person, but apparently somewhere in our legal system that they figured out that a corporation is technically an entity. Do the math on it. And you're taxing something that doesn't exist. And the corporation is a group of people who are beholden to their shareholders. They're going to find every way to skip out of paying on those taxes. So
and it's not. And the thing is, they're not breaking the law. They're using the law. They're using. Yeah, they're just saying, okay, these are the rules. Okay.
And they have the money to hire the legal to do it. They're losing billions of, like I said, billions of dollars a year hiring these lawyers who love it. They love it. And lawyers don't do shit.
Do you think that
country.
They'd save the money if they just paid the taxes and not hired the attorneys?
No.
You think it would be pretty?
Oh yes, they save lots of money because.
Okay.
No, there's if that were the case, the corporations pay the taxes. You know how that works.
Yeah.
That's common sense at that point. Huh?
It's like whatever. It's like it's the make or buy. Do we make this or do we buy this? Do we hire someone to make it or do we make it ourselves?
Yeah, exactly.
I go through that a lot. All right, it's about the top of the hour. It's after the top of the hour. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to be back. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about the digital repo man. We're going to be talking about bloggers that have to register themselves in Florida. A creepy-ass cookie monster. Mayor Lightfoot and her loss of the election, or her mayoral election in Chicago. An organized crime story that just broke in right here in Fort Worth. And apparently, if you're a BLM protester in the Bronx, crime pays. So we're going to be talking about those things right after this very, very short break. I hope that you hang out. Please come back. Please come back. I love y'all. We'll be back in just a little bit.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
I never thought that I'd see the day when kids sat in school but they couldn't pray, when it was more common to see a rifle than a Bible. We used to cover our hearts with our hands. We pledged allegiance when the day began, and in God we trust and follow the law of the land. But Grandpa said it's not okay with me. This isn't how things were supposed to be. They say you can't pray in school, but you can pray with me. And people go hungry within our lives. On almost every corner that needs a dime. And Grandpa says it's a never-ending war. This ain't the country that my family fought and died for. But Grandpa died before I was born. He took his own life right after the war. But he still walks with me, and forever he'll stay. If I want to talk to him, I just pray. If I want to talk to him, I just pray. If I want to talk to him, I just pray. say you can't pray in school, but you can pray with me. You can pray with me. Never thought that I'd see the day when kids sat in school but they couldn't pray.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
And we are back for part two of Friday Night Freedom. Almost missed my cue. Dude, Pookie and I were just shooting the shit, and I'm telling stories about how much, you know, I disapprove of certain people I work with. And I kind of looked at the playlist, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're like back on the fucking air. Whoops. So here we are.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Why are you running? I don't believe it.
Love it. Love it.
Oh, welcome back, everybody. This is Friday Night Freedom. Glad you could join us. This is the third day of March, 2023. My name is Koz. That's Pookie. He's got the fabulous beard. I've got the paper mustache. here if you want to see it, which was, I kind of showcased that at in the first segment, but here we go. It's falling. It's not going to stay there.
Let's see how long it stays.
There it goes. So we're back, and this is the second half, and we're going to talk about the Repo Man.
Oh, dear.
The Repo Man. If you not the movie, but if you miss your car payments, they're going to send out a tow truck, and it's all legal. It's like getting evicted from your car. I've never had that problem. I've
had it happen. And it sucks.
I'll bet it does. And there's people that try to make it the most difficult experience for the Repo Man. They'll leave it in their garage. They'll park it sideways. They'll pull it in and then put it on skates and then, kind of turn it 90 degrees so you can't really get it out. But Repo Man, tow truck drivers, those are some talented dudes. They can get a car out of almost any situation. But Ford has recently submitted a patent application for a self-driving vehicle that would repossess itself if the owner misses.
Tesla's talking about that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Tesla was even talking about that.
That's fine, dude. You're gonna buy my car. You're gonna pay for it. It doesn't belong to you until you get that title.
God forbid the repo order comes down and you got your kids sitting in the car and you just stepped away for a split second and let's travel down the road with your kid in the car.
Yeah, we're taking your fucking kids too. So the application, initially filed 2 years ago, was published last week by the United States Patent Office, United States Patent and Trademark Office. Involves a series of computer interactions that would initiate a multi-step repossession procedure in the case of delinquency. Banks could send drivers or lease holders multiple warnings about missed payments before the vehicle eventually was locked or made to cooperate with the repossession process initiated by the financial institution. I mean, really, unless you're paying cash for a car, you're going to finance it, and that financing comes from a bank, a benefactor. So when an acknowledgement is not received within a reasonable period of time, the first computer may disable a functionality of a component of the vehicle or place the vehicle in a lockout condition. The patent application, and these are all outlined in the patent application.
Hold on. You said a feature.
A feature. The radio doesn't work.
Okay. I was about to say, so I could be driving down the road going on the interstate like 90 miles an hour, and all of a sudden, the brakes don't work.
Oh, well, no, that would not be good. Like, the radio doesn't work or the AC doesn't work. This technology could be theoretically be implemented in several vehicle classes, including both electrical and internal combustion vehicles. In the event of missed payments, the technology could also begin to deactivate vehicle features such as air conditioning systems, remote key fobs, and automated locks, so to cause an additional level of discomfort to a driver and occupants of the vehicle, and encourage payment submissions.
No.
The technology could alternately activate chimes, beepers, or radios to emit an incessant and unpleasant sound every time the owner is present in the vehicle.
This is scary shit, man.
It is. It really is. The system could also lock the vehicle outside of work hours to avoid, quote, adversely affecting the livelihood of the owner of the vehicle, thereby hampering the owner's ability to make payments. So they're going to let you go to work, but outside of work hours, your car is going to be disabled. You can't go to the bar after work.
I've been talking about this shit for like the last 5 years about these electronic computerized cars and stuff like that. It's like, okay, what if the government passes a law saying you can only operate your vehicle so many hours during a week at work just to get to work and you're screwed. Oh, maybe on Saturday we'll give you 5 hours to go around and go shopping.
What about something stupid like you said something mean on Twitter, so we're going to disable your car?
Oh, yeah. This is ridiculous. This is Brave New World kind of shit, man.
Lack of action from the driver could result in the vehicle Actually calling for a tow truck. Semi-autonomous vehicles could move themselves from a location to a more convenient location for the tow truck operator to get the car, while fully autonomous vehicles could be moved from the premises of the owner to the premises of a repossession agency or lending institution without a tow truck. Vehicles with high mileage could be directed to automatically drive themselves to a junkyard if the repossession costs are substantially high. In another situation, a vehicle could call the police if the driver attempts to foil a repossession procedure and block the vehicle's path. The patent application comes as more consumers default on their automotive loans due to economic turmoil and inflationary pressures. I mean, cars now are stupid expensive.
No. The fact that people are paying close to like a down payment on a mortgage for a house, for a car, like it's nuts. Like $60,000-$70,000 for a freaking car. Like trucks alone, I'm surprised trucks haven't passed the 100K
Trucks
mark
down
yet,
here,
man.
trucks down here are very, very expensive here in Texas. They're if you want to get a Ford Raptor or something, you're going to spend $120,000 on that.
It's but why? Why?
I don't know. And if you want it customized, man, that's a whole other beast right there. We have lots of here in Texas that will do like performance packages, or Ford doesn't do it. Ford doesn't do it. Yeah. Ford doesn't do it, but it's like they're an authorized group of people that will do it.
Buy yourself an old 1980s square body pickup truck that's got the old freaking carburetor and freaking
that 4-barrel carb that just seeps gas all the time.
Yes,
Wolfie, man, you're absolutely right. This is the new world order, right? Coming.
I've been saying this though. It's like it's like the social credit score in China. Like they're slowly pushing that here. Like God forbid I say something stupid on the internet.
Without calling it that. Without calling it that. That's exactly what's going on.
No, you like. I mean, like, oh, I said something stupid on Twitter. I took my Ambien, which my doctor gives me, and I got high on Ambien and said fuck Barbara Streisand, and now I can't drive to work for the next week, and I'm missing out on my. This is what it's getting to at this point. At this point, you might as well have a horse chilling at your house so you can get back and forth to work because they're gonna shut you down.
Horses, 1 horsepower will get you to where you need to go, but man, you got to feed those fuckers too.
Oh yeah, it's probably cheaper than gas at this point.
Man.
Oh, it's weird, man. Like seeing this shit hurts me in my soul because I used to hear the crazy, like the William Coopers and what was the other guy, Savage, back in the day. These conspiracy theorists were saying this shit 20, 30 years ago. And it's happening right before your eyes.
What's his nuts that
Alex Jones
shooting his mouth off, and now he owes like $1 billion to.
Yeah, it's just nuts. No, this right here is crazy. No, your car fucking decides. Just imagine if the company has the ability to do that, a hacker has the ability to do that. So I could be in the middle of the night and be like, oh, your car looks real nice. I'm going to send it to my chop shop. Zoop. Car's gone.
You don't have to touch it.
No, I just went and click, 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 click on my keyboard. Now I'm $100,000 in the plus because I got parts floating around all over eBay.
Hey, Deanna Schulenberg. You're new. I haven't seen you before. Welcome to the show. My name is Koz, and that's Pooky up there.
Yes.
Let me look at here. Okay,
Kenneth.
I'm Koz, and that's Pooky. That's Pooky.
Kenneth shots, right?
Shots.
Pooky ain't wrong. The Amish got it right. Exactly. I won't say that much, but I mean the Amish are kind of weird, but they ain't gonna hear me say that. But
right? They don't have the transistor radio. That's technology.
It's a world.
Do you think there's like mainstream Amish that are like, okay, enough with this bullshit. We're actually going to have electricity and we're going to have radios or something. Really? Okay.
No, there is. You got the Mennonites and like different, like if you really want to, I know about this because I grew up around it and I'm actually a descendant of the Mennonites actually. So I know a lot about this shit. It's just, it depends on whatever like secular circle group. Like there's some really deep Amish, deep Amish that like old OG, like they only speak High German. They only read High German.
Yeah.
They don't like dealing with they call them the English, which is us. Even though I'm not English, I'm Irish, but
we get it.
But no, it's some of them are crazy. Some of them will drive around in vans and stuff, like legitimate vans, drive around, go shopping at stores and shit. No? But it just depends on where you're at and who your cult leader is. The best way to put it.
That's a good way to put it.
Whoever your cult leader is. I mean, I've never had a problem with the Amish and the Mennonites. Never once in my life.
When I lived in Ohio, when I came back from Iraq and we moved from Texas to Ohio, I'll bet you at least half of the furniture that we brought into the house was Amish made. And dude, that was almost as good as German.
Good.
It was like good. Solid,
good.
Like wood. Real wood, not this poplar pine. It was oak. Everything was just awesome.
Hardwood,
yeah,
black walnut, and oak.
Well made. Last a million years.
Yeah.
Next story. Let's say you're in Florida and you're a blogger.
Okay.
And you're a blogger and you just blog. You report on things. You're a citizen media person. You just observe things and you talk about it and you blog about it. You do videos, kind of like what we do. But if there's a new thing, a bill. I guess it's a bill. Let me just read the story. In Tampa, Florida. Let me figure out which story this is. In Tampa, Florida, Florida Senator Jason Brodeur, a Republican from Lake Mary, wants bloggers who write about Governor DeSantis, Attorney General Ashley Moody, and other members of the Florida Executive Cabinet or legislature to register with the state or face fines. Brodeur's proposal, which is Senate Bill 1316, would require any blogger writing about government officials to register with the Florida Office of Legislative Services or the Commission on Ethics. In the bill, Brodeur wrote that those who write, quote, an article, a story, or a series of stories about the governor, lieutenant governor, cabinet officer, or any member of the legislature and receives or will receive payment for doing so must register with the state offices within 5 days after the publication of an article that mentions said official. What the fuck, man?
It's like these people don't like being called Nazis. Like I really.
This is no. This is bad. This is like really bad.
That's freedom of speech violations, whole 9 yards of things. It's like I agree with some of this stuff that Florida, like DeSantis, especially. I agree with a lot of the things that he does, and I disagree with a lot of the shit that he tries to pull. And for a state senator to come out and be like, you got to register through our state board before you blog.
But why?
And talk about our governor. That to me is batshit crazy.
Why? But I mean, why? Why would you want someone to register? I mean, if you're gonna report on what these people actually do, they don't make shit up. They just like, this is what DeSantis did. This is what the attorney general did, or this is whatever. This is what they did. Why would you want these people that write about these things?
I don't know. There's register. I mean, I will say there are a shit ton of people down in Florida that have been doing like smear campaigns. What's it? A slander.
Or it's just like, okay, Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis actually was caught on video screwing a fucking a Burmese python while he was going out to his, just come up with some stupid stuff.
Yeah, so say stupid shit like that. I understand that, but that's the thing though. Is like, free speech is such a freaking thin line. It's like a thin line. It's such a.
It is, but it's
line.
absolute. It is absolute.
But for the senator to come out there and be like, anyone who speaks against our great governor, like don't ever give the government power that, like, I say this all the time.
They're never going to give it up.
Yes,
once you give it to them, they're not going to give it up.
But once it flips, they'll use that power, the same freaking power against you. They will do it in a split second. Like, okay, cool. Now Florida flipped Democrat for some every stupid law that you just wrote is now in their control, and they're going to use every last bit of that power against you now.
Yeah.
And
the shoe always goes, on the other foot.
That's fucking freaky to me. I would never expect a senator from Florida to do anything like that. But then again, Florida's Florida.
Florida's Florida. So here's my opinion. This is absolute BS, and I don't think it'll pass. Maybe a version of this will pass, but this bill as it is written will probably not pass. That might be some modification of it, if it even passes at all. Since we here at U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio do it for free, we don't have to comply because we don't receive payment. Nope. Everyone you see here on the station is a volunteer, and we do this out of the kindness of our heart, and we love y'all. And this is just what we do, man. This is a cool hobby to kind of try to bring the veteran community together, and it's working. Oh my gosh! Someone here says I'm here for the freedom snacks, and I'll bet you $10. That's Spanky. What's up, Spanky? She's our snack queen. Speaking of snack queens, let's talk about the Cookie Monster. Arrgh. What is that? Oh, is that your wasabi peas?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, those are so good. If you haven't tried wasabi peas, hold those things up to the
these things.
Those are so good. You don't think that they would taste good, but man, they're so good.
Wasabi said peas. Snacks, and I was like, here's my offering of snacks to Spanky. I got wasabi peas.
Those are so good.
Gotta keep the snacks on deck. Right?
So let's talk about the Cookie Monster.
Oh God.
Visitors on the Santa Cruz Wharf in California say that they are feeling creeped out by feeling uncomfortable after encountering a man dressed as the Cookie Monster. Police are warning others to stay away from the man, and they say that he's been bothering visitors and yelling at them. Quote, "Yeah, he's a weirdo for sure. He puts the W in weirdo," one of the beachgoers said. He says, quote, "I got to take a picture with him with my dog, and he kind of creeped my dog out too." Police said while they've received several complaints about the man, at this point he has not committed any crimes in the city. So they can't do anything. The man has faced several criminal charges in other parts of the country. It says country. But they did not provide any further details on that. But he's just a creepy dude in a Cookie Monster costume. I mean, if you're not breaking the law, you're not breaking the law. If you're creepy, being creepy is not against the law.
Enjoying himself, doing what he wants to do as a free American. I don't see nothing wrong with that, unless he's fucking around with kids. Then maybe we have an issue. But if he's just walking around in his little fursuit, let him do it. No.
But I imagine
Santa Cruz though.
Is he
Santa Cruz?
I've never been. I've been to L.A. and San Bernardino. That's it. I don't know where Santa Cruz is.
That's the epitome of NIMBY. You know what NIMBY means?
Yes.
That's the epitome of that. So, a crazy dude, he might be crazy. He just might be just enjoying himself, whatever he's doing, walking around playing Cookie Monster.
What do you
will freak the
suppose?
NIMBYs out.
What do you suppose that Cookie Monster costume smells like?
Oh, hot ass! I guarantee you on that point.
And
This
that,
is
you know,
gonna be
I look at that, and I'm
attractive.
like, man, I think in like 6 months or like a year, that's going to be like, okay, Cookie Monster on meth because it's going to be dirty. He's not going to get it cleaned.
It's like the Cookie Monster from Family Guy shooting cookie dough.
Oh,
Free-
jeez.
free day.
So we've come to, okay, let's talk about, okay. Every time I see her name, Lightfoot, I'm like, Gordon Lightfoot. I'm like, oh, great
dude,
musician. No,
Beetlejuice.
this is the
Beetlejuice.
Well, it's the
Beetlejuice.
current mayor / former mayor of Chicago. She, you know, they had a mayoral election, and she not only lost, she got her ass kind of handed to her. So I'm sure you've all have heard in the news that Lori Lightfoot has lost her bid for re-election as the mayor of Chicago. An elected mayor of Chicago has not lost an election in over 30 years, so this is pretty momentous. Lightfoot campaigned for mayor in 2019 by arguing crime was too high, saying that she wanted to make Chicago the safest big city in the country.
Oh, that worked out.
But homicides, mostly from gun violence, spiked dramatically in 2020 and 21 from 500 murders in 19 to 776 and 804 in the next 2 years, respectively. Shootings, robberies, and carjackings also skyrocketed. Violent crime in the city spiked by 40% since she promised during her inaugural address to end the epidemic of gun violence that devastates families, shatters communities, holds children hostage to fear in their own homes. Man. Chicago City Alderman Anthony Beale says, quote, coming out of the gate at the inauguration, she tried to embarrass the entire city council as being a corrupt body, and since she is here to save the day. But it turns out that she was the least transparent, least productive, least cooperative administration I have ever had to deal with in my life. Lightfoot doesn't see it that way. She says, quote, and this is her quote,
You can't do it.
She says, I'm a black woman. Let's not forget that certain folks, frankly, don't support us in leadership roles. She is completely blind. She's completely blind to the fact that she lost the election for legitimate reasons. So her loss isn't her fault at all? She even went so far as to play the race card. Well, since she played that card, why didn't she play the gay card? I mean, she is a lesbian, and she's married to her wife, Amy Eschlerman. Neither of these two scenarios is the least bit believable. The people of Chicago have spoken, and Lightfoot is out based on her record and her leadership style, not racism or whatever.
That's how democracy works, people.
So check this out. Because no candidate received more than 50% of the vote on Tuesday's election, the top 2 of the 9 candidates on the ballot are moving on to the April 4 runoff. She's not a part of that group. She came in 3rd place. She is an incumbent. She's an incumbent mayor, and she came in 3rd.
She got.
Yeah.
That's how bad you did that bad. You did that bad. That's all I gotta say. Don't blame other people. You suck. You are a horrible leader. Goodbye. Good riddance. And I hope Chicago becomes better than it has been in the last 4 years. But good luck with that.
The top 2 candidates remaining for Chicago mayor are Paul Vallis and Brandon Johnson. I don't know shit about either of them, but I hope Brandon Johnson wins. He's in his mid-40s and has only been in politics since 2018, so he's a young guy. Paul Vallis is almost 70. He's going to turn 70 this year.
What are you doing, Ron?
And he's been in politics since the mid-90s.
There are gonna be laws against this shit.
term limits and age limits.
Oh, dear Lord!
sure.
If you're past retired age, you need to get the fuck out of politics. Simple as that. And you're more worried about where your ice cream's at. Sleepy Joe, where's my next ice cream? Who wiped my butt last?
Spend time with your great grandkids.
Yes. Yeah, get the fuck. Oh God. Ooh, it's so nasty. It's like I can imagine what the freaking like Congress, actual Congress, like the House, Capitol, sitting in that nasty house room. It smells like cat piss and all kinds of nastiness. It's just, oh God, just retired.
Smells like cigarette smoke and spoiled milk.
Yes, walking into like an old fucking retirement home, like boom, like that fucking smell of death and decanter, fucking just bam, hitting your fucking like, I don't want to be in here. And then all the old people messing with you while you're walking around trying to see your grandmother. Like, yeah, oh look at this, it's a little boy, sniff him.
Get off my lawn. I'm waiting for the day where like a congressman who's been like, he's a 14-term congressman, like dies on the fucking Senate floor just from a heart attack, just from being old.
Our founding fathers fucked up with that part right there. Congress was never designed to be what it is right now, but they failed to see that, and they should have seen like, hey, term limits. I mean, even the presidency didn't have term limits. It's kind of like a gentleman thing. Like, I do 2 terms. Step down.
Yeah, get out.
I'm done. I can't do anymore. Let someone else.
And that
do
goes
it.
for like, even if you're great, even if you're awesome and you love the nation and you're doing great things, dude, 2 terms, gone. You're gone.
Step down. Sorry. I did my job for today. But you got, what's it, Feinstein, freaking
is she
Pelosi.
still in the hospital? Is she okay?
I didn't even realize she was in the hospital.
Yeah, I saw a blurb on the news that she was taken to the hospital. I don't know what for, but
there's some old crypt keepers floating around, but there that don't need to be.
She looks like a lump of clay. She's kind of mushy.
It's like, have you ever had a conversation with an 80-year-old person? Like, it's okay, cool. They might be able to recall some shit, but like, they're the ones who decide when they send the young kids to war. Just remember that. We're going to war with these people.
Yeah, fuck these people, man. Yeah, I'm gonna vote for war. And then you ask him 2 weeks ago. It's like Dianne Feinstein. She had announced her retirement months ago, and then she was asked about it, and she's like, "What?" It was like news to her. Yeah, it's time to go.
Mental acuity test across the board for everyone. I don't think AOC would pass mental acuity tests.
She's ideological. She's very passionate about what she believes in. She doesn't pull any punches. She's just like, well, fuck yeah. She likes the socialism thing. So I get it. I respect it. I don't agree with it, but I get it. And she's up front about everything. She doesn't hide shit.
Down the road, she's gonna be still running. She's gonna be the next Bernie Sanders.
Oh, Jesus.
Raving about the same shit for 40 years.
Right.
It's just.
You think she'll make her? And I didn't look this up. I don't know when she's up for re-election. I think did she just win? So she has another 2 years. State congressman or 2 year.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to that.
But man, yeah.
I got to deal with like freaking what's his name, McConnell and fucking goddamn Rice and all these good old Southern boys that I got to deal with just in my area.
It's like it's old school stuff, and it's like they've been there for years, so everyone there is gonna vote for them.
Yeah, well, ooh, good old boy. God forbid you go gambling. You're not allowed to gamble, but then they go to Vegas every weekend. You know, like it's like this.
Or they do other shady shit, and it's
Yeah,
just it's
yeah,
not
it's-
shady shit. It's not like it's illegal, but it's like they preach against these behaviors, and then they go ahead and participate in those behaviors somewhere else or whatever.
As long as you know their constituents can't see them, it's all right.
So I came across an organized crime story, and it was under the organized crime banner here in Fort Worth, and I'm like, wow, this is weird. I want to read about this. And I was confused. I was really confused because this is confusing. It's not because I didn't understand it. It's because it's confusing. So police in the Fort Worth suburb of Lake Worth arrested two siblings in connection to what they say is an organized theft ring. The suspects, 19-year-old Dexter Goins and his sister, Destiny, age 22, are accused of stealing thousands of dollars worth of not cars. They didn't steal cars. They didn't steal money. They didn't rob banks. They stole scented candles from a store. Officers reportedly spotted Dexter at a store on Monday. He took off when they tried to pull him over, but he was arrested a few minutes later in the Oaks neighborhood. Police later arrested his sister in connection to the case and recovered dozens of scented candles. Both are charged with engaging in organized criminal activity. So they had like a RICO charge on them. Organized crime. What are we not being told about these people? I don't see how lifting candles from a store amounts to an organized crime charge. Can you see anything? The black market candle market is just booming, right?
I did not know the Karens were in a black market.
Todd Washburn says they were trying to pay for college. Maybe they were. I don't know. I have no idea. There's like no information out there for these guys.
I mean, who is buying? What demographic is buying scented candles?
So if you go to like Yankee Candle, I think maybe one of those big candles is $15 ish.
Live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love candles is $15. You can get them for like $8 from these guys.
Oh, so it's the suburban white woman that's buying these candles.
Karen's buying the candles from the oppressed. I don't know. I don't. This whole story struck me as weird, and they called it an organized crime, like a syndicate.
I mean, oh my god,
the Texas syndicate.
It's like the assault, like calling a rifle an assault rifle, right? Assault is what the adverb or whatever it is, the action behind.
Assault is a verb, yeah.
A verb. So a rifle is a rifle. It is what it is. But when you add assault to it, it's worse. So organized. There might have been crime involved, but you add the organized part to it. And it makes it
because
worse.
they talk to each other. It's like,
Yes,
hey, I'm gonna go grab these 4 candles today. What would you
send
like?
some
You
text
want peach?
messages.
You want peach? What flavor you want, girl?
My favorite scented candle is the Cuban humidor. It smells like tobacco. That's my favorite. It smells like
My favorite scent, and I get it from what the hell is that place? Not Bath and Body. What the hell is that? That they sell fuckloads of candles, and they have
Bed Bath Beyond.
Bed Bath. Is it? No. But I buy
Yankee?
no, God, I can see the bags over here. But you plug them in. I really like the rose water and ivy. That's just a good smell. And then wintertime, it's always something cinnamon apple, blah blah blah. Just fill it in with whatever.
Yankee Candles used to make during a Halloween time frame. It was called Witch's Brew, and there was Midnight Summer. Those are the two that I liked the most. I would stockpile them because they smelled so good.
Patrick Lowe says, I'm waiting for the Skillcraft pine oil scented candle.
Damn, dude. Hey. There's Diesel. There's a company that makes
No,
Diesel.
not diesel. Oh,
Yes.
fuck, I hate
JP8 smelling candle.
Okay,
like,
that's good as long
JP8.
as jet fuel exhaust. I would buy that. I would
Yes.
definitely buy
Yes. Yes. That's some good shit.
that. If it smells like jet exhaust, I'm gonna buy that.
Skillcraft pine scented, I'm down with that. Gunpowder. I love the smell of gunpowder.
Gunpowder
People think I'm crazy.
coffee is good. I love the smell of coffee. If I want the smell of coffee, I'll make some coffee. I don't need to buy a candle. So Spanky doesn't do coffee. She doesn't drink coffee, so her house never smells like coffee. So apparently crime pays in some certain circles. I think this is our last story of the evening. BLM protests flared up after the death of George Floyd all over the United States. One of those protests occurred in the Bronx, New York. There was a lot of arrests because violence erupted, people were hurt, and property was damaged. So the cops went to work and they took care of business. A class action lawsuit was filed against the police department because of violations of these people's First, Fourth, and 14th Amendments. According to a court filing, the city would pay each of the protesters in the lawsuit $21,500. This has yet to be approved by a judge. An additional $2,500 would be given to those who were issued a desk appearance ticket, which requires an individual to appear in court at a particular date and time to respond to the accusations. If approved, the settlement is estimated to cost the city between $4 and $6 million, considering that only about 90 of the 300 people in attendance of the June 4th, 2020 protest already settled with the company or with the county. So if they had already settled with the county, they're like ineligible. So this is like 90 people are getting ready to get $21,500 for supposed malfeasance by the police department. But it's cheaper. The thing is, it's cheaper
to pay them
than to fight it in court.
But that's taxpayer dollars that are going down the drain. So there'll be the same people bitching about why there's potholes in my road while they're sitting with their $25,000 in their pocket.
Yeah.
I can't.
Does it make your brain hurt just like it makes mine?
No, I can't wrap my brain around the stupidity anymore. It's like everyone's playing checkers when everyone needs to be playing chess. That's just the best way I can put it. Like, oh, I just jump your dude. All right, cool. Oh, I'm gonna jump you. That's just what everyone's doing.
So what is this? But what does this teach you? To go ahead and go to a protest and do things and take part in things in the hopes that you are getting your ass beat by a police officer.
It's because I want to get my ass beat by a police officer for fucking no reason, so I can sue them for $25,000. No.
It's not a lot of money.
Man, they think.
Guess what? I just remembered the Reddit thing.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh my gosh, this is cool. This is cool. Wow.
Because we're getting near the end of the show. It's about like, hey, you remember the Reddit thing?
I knew I would remember it. I didn't think I would.
Get it out.
I need to say this. Okay, this Antifa crap. I mean, these fuckers are potentially. This hasn't been happening. This hasn't happened yet. It hasn't been decided by a judge, but this is on the table. They're going to pay these 90 people about $21,500 for being manhandled by the cops. But look at these signs. Punch a cop. Punch that cop. New York Police Department out of the MTA. I don't know what MTA. Something Transit Authority. I don't know. Manhattan Transit Authority. Punch a cop. So they're like encouraging violence. But when violence happens and the police try to do their jobs, all of a sudden they're sued. So the Reddit thing is cool. I was asked a question, or there was a question posed. If you won $1 million, what would you do with it? How would you? Today you won $1 million. What happens next? So I'm going to ask you, Pooky, if you won $1 million, what would you do? Like starting right now?
I'd probably hire an accountant to get my shit in straight.
Okay.
So I can invest it.
Okay.
And leave it alone. I mean, $1 million would disappear real quick.
It's not a lot of money. It's really not a lot. It sounds like a lot of money, but it's not.
$1 million is like chump change. So I would hire someone so I could get at least maybe like some sort of weird, what do they call that? Through the stock market, God, my brain is hurting right now.
The reef?
No, like Ford does it every year. Dividends.
Dividend stocks,
yeah. So I'd get myself set up so I'm getting at least maybe $20,000 a year out of it, and you know that's acceptable.
You got to make your money work for you.
Yeah.
So I really took the question to heart. I'm like, this is a legitimate question. I'm gonna give some thought to it. So okay, $1 million is the prize. If I take the cash option, we're going to divide that by about 2. So I'm going to be left with about $500,000 or $600,000. Then I got to pay taxes on that, and that's going to take it down a little bit more. I'm like, what I really want to do, I would really like to take a cruise and do like Scandinavia and Europe, and not so much the Caribbean, but you know, I want to go to Alaska and do all that. And I calculated all the costs on that, and that's maybe $20,000 total for all of those cruises. And you know, maybe I didn't consider like airfare from here to there, so add about $3,000 for that. Then I'm like, okay, I had my worksheet out here, and I think I threw it away, but after that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pay off all of my debts. So I've got about $100,000 left on my house and about $10,000 left on my car. Those are the only debts that I've got. So I'm gonna get rid of that. So I did the subtraction, and then I'm like, okay, I've got 2 girls. Maybe they'll decide to get married, and they're gonna have the most badass wedding. So I set aside like $20,000 for each of those weddings. So minus $40,000. I'm like, fuck, you know, dude, I got to go back to work because I'm down to probably, $200,000-$300,000 left liquid. And I got to go back to work. If you were given $1 million today, that's not going to last. Even if you kept it for yourself, if you're the only person in your existence, that's, if you make $100,000 a year, that's 10 years worth of salary. That's it. It's not a lot. I'm not saying that everyone makes $100,000 a year, but that's not a lot of money. It's not going to last that long, especially if you get sick. You can't just quit, It'd be good to have like some kind of an insurance plan.
Even worst case scenario, you pay your house off and then you go broke from that $1 million. You're going to wind up losing your house to property taxes if you can't afford to freaking property tax.
You will. I mean,
that's the sad part.
Property taxes on my house are probably $4,000 or $5,000 a year, so it's not bad. I can always find something to do if I ever lost my job and had to just pay my property taxes and stuff. But
Kenneth Wolf says I feel alone in this chat. No.
Yeah.
There's not too many people on tonight, weirdly enough. I don't know what's going on tonight.
There ought to be. Wolfie, we need to get back with Irina and Dustin. He knows what I'm talking about. We used to hang out. It's like the show would be gone, and then I'd just be.
Yeah, the after show.
Yeah, we do the after show on a different platform, and it was a ton of fun. It was a ton of fun.
I vaguely remember Wolfie. Like I saw his name earlier. I was like, this sounds very familiar to me because I used to hang out in your You do your little DJ after show kind of thing.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it's like
That hasn't happened in probably 2 years. Wolfie, correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while. It's been a while.
It's been a long time since we did something crazy like that, but
He doesn't. He does. He does now, Wolfie. He does remember you. All right, man. I think we're gonna sign off, man. It's about that time. It's I'm an old guy, so.
you see the green on my hat from this stupid pollen?
Is that? Oh, okay. I thought that was maybe a green stripe.
No, that's that. There's some sweat, but the rest of it's just that green.
pollen.
Nasty. It's a black hat.
It's like you have to live with Benadryl in your system all the time.
No, not in the South. Fuck the South.
All right, everybody. I think we're gonna get out of here. But before we get out of here, I'm just gonna let you know that we got shows 6 nights a week, and you can see that we are here on Friday Night Freedom. And next we got this way, that way, this way, whoosh, that way. We got the sports bars happening on Sunday with Coach and the actual King Smith. And then Monday is a Monday edition. Tuesday is Pop Culture Warrior, and we do have a guest, and it's going to be Debbie Mae West. She's a voice actor. She voiced the character of Lucky from 101 Dalmatians, and she's done lots of work. She does voice work for the NFL Network, Discovery Health, Smithsonian Channel, Investigation Discovery, and she also does a lot of like gaming stuff. She's everywhere. She is everywhere. She's done everything, and she also surfs, so she can't be all that bad. And let me see. Wednesday is the Smoke Pit. I love the Smoke Pit show. I really do, because it's just a super casual conversation between TZ and the host, Radar. And it's really cool to see his thought processes on things that happen. He just talks about something and then it goes off on a tangent. It's really cool. It's a really great show, and you guys really need to tune into it. And then we're back to like Thursday, Sergeant's Time, and everyone knows what Sergeant's Time is about. The last show was awesome, dude. If you saw last night's show, it was so good. Natalia Anatova was there, and they got, I don't know if they got zucked. I don't know if things just like fell sideways, but I was so excited about the end of the show. Like 10 minutes before the end of the show, 5 minutes before the end of the show, it's like shit stopped working. I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, it's Ice always has a good show, and I'm very, very happy to always partake in his show. So, looking for some closing comments, Pookie. What you got?
Oh, like I always say, don't drink drive, don't kick your dog, don't beat your spouse, and taxation's theft, and don't fly American, and be safe. Don't do stupid shit, and have a great weekend.
If you're gonna fly, actually fly that other airline, the one that does the 360 loops, so everyone on the plane can see the northern lights. Anyway. Love you all. Thank you all very much. And we'll see you next week, man. Take a day off tomorrow and then come back for Sports Bar.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
Did you make a wish? Yeah. What'd you wish for? I wish for big boobies.
WTF Nation Radio.
Let's see it.